joined by Lloyd from NR Private Markets and Didier Fohlen from Annamite Resources. Didier, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Morning, Andrew.
Annamite Resources now live on your platform. Tell us a bit more. Why are they such a good fit here for NR Private Market?
We see a lot of exploration resource companies. They're harder to filter through. We've had some successes previously with Aftermath Silver, with Kincora Copper and Cobra in South Australia. This one we recognize, we like the geology. I've obviously worked in Southeast Asia, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, and the geology doesn't obey political boundaries, and these guys are first mover status in Laos. The geology is excellent. It's a private company with a view to a listing, and we want to support that in its early stage of growth. They have some exceptional backers behind them. They've got an extremely talented team that's in country and has all the local support. And when you're a first mover status, that it's critical to get that support both locally and at federal level, and do all the ESG stuff and the CSR stuff correctly early on. And we just like the look of it. We think it's got legs, as they say, and want to support it. So we're doing a raise at the moment.
Well, Didier, tell us a little bit more about Annamite and what you're doing in Laos.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. So Annamite was formed in May 2019. We selected Laos because it's basically a number of people, most of them with over 20, 30 years of experience, that have worked in Laos and that know well the potential of Laos. Something extremely specific in Laos, as you may have heard, in fact, it's two Australian companies started extremely good mines in after first-class exploration in about 20 years ago. One is called the Sepon mine, the second is called the Pubia mine, and they have been extremely successful. And then what happened is that the government made a number of decisions which basically stalled during 15-year exploration. And given the fact that we know Laos, we have a good network of business people in Laos. We have a good relationship with the government because all of us have worked there and they know us from the past. We decided to go back to Laos. And what happened is that 2 years ago, basically everything started to open again. The Lao government realized that they made a number of mistakes and that the exploration/mining sector has been poorly under. And then, so it's the good time to be the first mover. We have the right team to do it. We have 1/3 of our shareholders in value that are Lao people. So they are extremely committed, and we have established a good local team and good relationship with the government.
And tell us a bit more about the geology there.
So the geology, it's interesting to see that no modern exploration has taken place since the two mines that took place 20 years ago. And as you know well, the exploration, at least on the first one, Sepon, started probably 30 years ago. At that time, it was Rio Tinto. So basically, modern exploration didn't take place over the last 15 years. So what we did as a first mover is that we say we are not going to apply for permits for exploration, which is anyway quite difficult because the system has been stalled. We decided we are going to review all the existing tenements, select the best ones, start negotiation with the holders of the tenement. And that's how we came to the fact that it's probably 10 good projects. And among the 10 that we looked, we pick up 2. 6% of the Laos has been properly explored. So if you look that it's on 2 belts, which have been extremely well known because some of the deposits are in Vietnam, some of the deposits are in Thailand. So it's all positive. So we pick up 2, and we have the one I call our flagship, which is called Sogdi.
And so what are your near-term plans? What are you looking to do?
So what we are looking to do is that we signed a deal back in November 2020, so 3 months ago, on what I will call a big tenement by exploration standards. Is 243 square kilometers. We call it the Sogdi tenement. And when we picked it up, because we saw very early on that it was a porphyry sitting in the middle, and probably more than one porphyry. So the porphyry, we call it the star. It's in the southern part of the tenement, and we just like it. You know, we look at the drilling. We retested a number of core. The previous company did about 2,000 meters of drilling. They only hit with one drilling and they stop, as many geologists did it, the core of the porphyry, but they stop immediately without realizing that they were in the porphyry. So that's why we like it. It's probably a big porphyry. We see that on the side of it, there will be probably some skarn or epithermal deposit. And when you look at the 243 square kilometers, there's many, many targets that are totally unknown.
And the infrastructure is good around there.
The infrastructure is very good. This project, Sogdi, is close to, it's about 30 kilometers to a very important link between the capital of Laos and China that has been paid and built by the Chinese. So there's a fast train and there's a motorway. So the location is absolutely perfect.
You did say, and Rich mentioned it as well, but it is important. The government there, they're supportive of exploration and mining.
Absolutely, because they saw the mistake done by lack of people able to do proper exploration, lack of funding, and they see clearly that it's a big drag for them, mainly in COVID times, to have the revenue from exploration and mining basically going down very, very quickly. Yes, so there's clearly very good support from the government.
And early days, but you are giving some consideration to a potential listing, are you?
Yes, absolutely. We believe that once we unveil the potential of the star porphyry and probably find one or two more positive deposit in the area, yes, we can look at a listing in next year, probably mid to the end of 2022. We don't know yet when. We are still discussing between ourselves. And as you know very well, the listing also depends heavily on your investors.
Well, certainly, Rich, an interesting story to follow here for the next 6-12 months.
Yeah, it's cracking geology that I'm close to. It's gold copper is what I did as a geologist back in the day, both in Peru and in Southeast Asia. So that piqued my interest. And the first mover status, I've seen companies do it the wrong way when they've gone into countries, and I've seen the odd rare company, they do it well, they do it correctly, they do it in the right manner, whether that's in Armenia, whether it's in Turkey, whether it's in Colombia. I mean, Colombia 10 years ago, nobody would touch it. Now it is, absolutely the hotbed. And this sort of geology in Southeast Asia is the same. So yeah, we're supporting them. We're doing an initial raise for $500,000 at the moment. We're already halfway through that. We have subscriptions that cover half of that, and that's at 4 cents. And that's with a warrant. So 1 warrant for every 12 shares purchased at this stage. We'll cut that off at some point. Didier and his team will go off and do the drilling, expand the project, work out what they're going to do next, possibly come back to us later in the year with a view to then what's the pathway towards a listing, further work. And these porphyry systems can be enormous. So, there could be a lot more drilling that's required, but you find a big porphyry system, then it warrants the drilling, doesn't it?
Certainly. And you've been busy, Richard, in our private market. Is it your 12th deal?
This will be our 12th. This will be our 12th mining deal. We've done a fintech deal as well. We've raised now. We did our first IPO just last week in the UK with Cornish Metals, alongside Hannon Partners and SP Angel. That was oversubscribed, so that was a £5 million deal. Ended up at 8.2 million, which was fantastic. It was oversubscribed. So it's showing the power of these disruptive platforms where the private investor can get involved alongside the institutional. And the two broking firms there were absolutely fantastic. They welcomed us with open arms, and I think the whole market is seeing that this is one of the way forwards. We've always joked about it's mining finance meets Airbnb and Uber, but I think we're kind of proving that. And it's deals like Annamite as well on the earlier stage in the exploration where investors can get their teeth into these things early.
Well, Rich, good to catch up, and Didier, nice to meet you. All the best. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Andrew.